Well, it's another episode of TTL, y'all. Talk Therapy Live.
Yeah.
Come on in, Facebook family. Go ahead and tell a friend, tell an enemy, because they need help too. But tell everybody, come on in and join TTL this morning with Talk Therapy Live. I see y'all coming in.
They coming in.
Yeah, they coming in.
It's like Miss Mary Stevenson
yes,
there.
Good morning. Good morning to you, to my sister Marvin Forte.
Sister Marvin Forte?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sister.
She just had a birthday, didn't she?
Wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going to say how many candles were on that cake.
She's getting better and better.
Is that what it is?
The old timers would say gooder and gooder. I believe I saw Sis Brittany Bozeman.
Was she on there? All right.
I think so. If not, I'm sure she'll be on.
Hey.
You are listening to a Gold Chip communication station. If you want to listen live, go to www.1580thepraise.com and click on Listen Live.
Yeah.
You can also join in if you want to be a part of this discussion. Hey, go to Talk Therapy Live on the Facebook page. We'll let you in. Yes, and be a part of this wonderful discussion. I am super excited.
I'm super excited too.
Why are you super excited?
I'm super excited. I was on Facebook this morning and saw someone give a great review on your book.
On my book?
Yes.
What's the name of my book?
That interactive journal that you came out with.
Life
Lord have mercy.
Changer.
Yeah, and I was surprised. I was shocked.
Yeah, but that's good. Yeah,
it's real good.
It's good that it's still impacting and it's still effective.
Yeah,
but you know what? It will work if you work it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we get books, we get journals, you know, basically just to support. But if you really want to change your mood and your atmosphere, you need to get a life changer interactive journal. Yes.
Get a life changer journal and also tune in to TTL.
TTL, that's
so both of that should really help you.
Because you know what? TTL is a community platform. It's a platform for you. It's not for us.
Right.
We already have the information. This is free therapy.
Yes, free therapy.
It's free. F-R-E-E. We love free therapy. We are doing this because we are passionate about your well-being. So tell a friend, tell a family member, tell an enemy to tune in to Talk Therapy Live TTL.
By way of what? Gold Chip Communications, right?
Yes, Gold Chip Communications.
And they have allowed this platform to be on their platform.
Oh,
so
yes.
We're definitely grateful for them and here to help.
Yes, here to help.
Yes.
And hey, feel free to chime in. Again, this is your platform. We're introducing the content, but we definitely want you to be interactive and chime in.
Especially today. When you give us the theme and the thought of today, we need a lot of input. We need for you to, make some type of comment, include it in so that this show today can, it's a good topic.
It is a good topic.
It's a real good topic, yeah.
We are talking about blended families today.
Yeah. Blended families, yeah. But where are you located at? We need to know that. We need to know that.
Well, I'm located everywhere.
Everywhere now, for sure.
Because of social media.
Yeah.
But you can go to my website at healthyemotes.com and you can find out my location and my hours. My physical location is at 1011 East Jenkins Avenue, right here in the city of Columbus, Ohio. But I'm also still doing video therapy, so telehealth therapy. You can contact me at 614-669-5115 if you want to set up an appointment. Is very busy right now.
Oh, you've been busy.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, you have been.
Because of everything that's happening in the world. It impacts everyone's psyche. It impacts everyone's mood. It has affected. Have you seen the news and people's behaviors?
Yes.
So call for your appointment. People still have that stigma of going to mental health counseling as if something's wrong or that they'll be labeled as crazy. But sometimes you just need someone to talk to.
You do. I believe people are catching on now. Especially through this platform. people are really catching on to the fact that, hey, if I have an issue that I can't resolve, maybe I just need some help from an outside source.
Absolutely.
You know, so hey.
And every therapist need a therapist. I need a therapist.
Yeah.
This is my therapist right here.
Yeah.
But I also have colleagues that I can go to as well.
Yeah.
You know,
just like pastors.
Sure.
Every pastor needs a pastor. That pastor needs a pastor. Everybody needs somebody to talk to sometimes.
That's why there's so many people here on the earth, because we need each other.
We need each other. We kind of go through some of the same issues in life, you know, and maybe you make it out before I do. So, hey, we need to talk.
That's right.
You know, but yeah.
That's why it's called
what? Talk
therapy.
That was
There's Brittany Bozeman. I thought you was already on here, girl. I didn't give you a shout out and everything, but good morning to you. So we're talking about a very difficult subject today, which is blended families.
Yeah.
Blending a family together can be one of the most arduous tasks that you have taken on. It's already hard when you marry someone. It's just you and them with no children. You know, because marriage takes a lot of work all by itself. But then when you incorporate children, you know, you have to be so very careful. You have to have a strategy, and you have to have a strategy prior to the vows. You have to
prior to you just getting together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we have a lot of blended families today.
Yeah.
We just have to be we have to be careful how we blend our families, because it just may be, you don't want to blend a family every, 6 years or every 4 years. You blend, you know what I mean? So, hey, I feel you on that one.
Because you always have to consider your children. Anytime you have children, you really have to consider the impact that it's going to have upon them.
Yeah, most definitely.
We are adults. We know how to adult. We know how to get over, the hurt and the pain. But sometimes our children are not as resilient. They don't know what to do with all of that, in and out and up and down and all that. So you must, make a grave decision, and you have to ponder, is this going to benefit our children as well? So coming together prior to, having that coming together of the minds. Before you get together to discuss the expectations.
Yes, most definitely.
You need to discuss how we're going to handle discipline.
You have to.
That's a big
If you're
one.
serious about that person that you are planning to get involved with, and you're going to be together for a lifetime, you have to sit down and talk about those things if you have small children. And also, if you into a relationship that has teenagers.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? So that's a rough time to try to blend something together, two adults in a relationship.
Yes. Now, in my experience in counseling, I have found that it's more difficult blending when they're older, when the children are teenagers. Then the little kids are more adaptive. They'll take on more kindly.
Right.
But the adolescents, oh my goodness, they're there a lot of times to prove a point that you're not my daddy. And you're not my mother.
Exactly. That's true.
So you really have to think about it. You just cannot enter in unadvisedly.
You have to sit down, talk this thing out. Hey, how are we going to work this out? Is it workable? Let me tell you about my son, my daughter. You tell me about yours, and their character, who they are, their temperament. All of that needs to be kind of put in place before we try to blend up.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So it's important.
Statistics show that 60 to 70% of families who blend in divorce.
Wow. Is that right? That's a high statistic. Never heard that before.
That's very high.
Yeah, never heard that before.
That's very high.
Yeah.
That's why you have to be cognizant and very careful of how you move about.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, when you get into like the adolescence age, you know, there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of hostility. Now, when you have the children, there's a lot of sadness because there is a grief and loss going on because they're no longer with their biological parents.
Right. Okay.
You know, so there's a grief problem, and children don't know how to demonstrate this.
Yeah.
It can come out in misbehaviors.
Yeah.
It could come out as, you know, the child being more withdrawn.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I suggest, and knowing what I know now, is that if you're getting into a relationship and you're blending families together, maybe it's a good idea to go to counseling first. So we can put the expectations up front.
That's right.
What to look for, explain it to the child as best as possible.
Yes.
You know, so that things can get off to a good start.
That's right, because the parents oftentimes don't know their role as far as the stepchild is concerned.
Yeah, that's true.
You haven't set the expectations. You haven't set the boundaries.
Yeah.
So the parent is lost as to how far can I go?
Right.
Should I say something?
Yeah.
Should I intervene? You know, what is my role?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hostility even between the parents. So there's a lot of dynamics regarding blended families. You have sibling to sibling.
Yeah.
You know, parent to stepchild, parent to parent, parent to ex. Yeah. Now, you can't get away from the ex. Now, we're going to talk about that, too. There's still an ex there. You know, somebody brought these kids into the world, all right?
Yeah.
And then you have, you know, the bio parents to the stepchildren. So let's talk a little bit about sibling to sibling, like blending the families together. All right, so you have the core family, the biological family, and then you're bringing in stepkids. Yeah. How do you think the stepkids that are coming in feels?
You know what? Maybe kind of, you know, with a sense of, I don't know what to expect. You know, depending upon the age, you know, not really sure as to how life is going to be, you know, so they're kind of maybe on their P's and Q's, you know, depending upon the age, as I say, you know, I think it's...
So what I hear you saying is that the child that is coming into this family has a lot of anxiety.
Maybe a lot of anxiety. I'm around. But you know what? Blended families are good. Let me say this about blended families, because there is no such thing as too much love.
No such thing.
So I think blended family is a positive if the other is not working. You know what I mean? It's a positive thing. There's no such thing as having too much love for anybody, you know, for a child or for an adult. There's something that's needed when families come together that someone has lacked in the area. Somebody's going to bring something that's going to fill something that's been open for a while.
Tell me a little more about that.
Well, as far as love, guidance, you know, all of these things, you may not have received it maybe from your bio family. You know, so there's something that's going to be brought to the table that's going to enrich your life. And maybe you did, but maybe there's something else that will be added. So that will simply enrich your life. So there's no such thing as having too much love.
Yeah, and you're so true, and that is most ideal. Yeah. That is the ideal way and the ideal effects of a blended family. But we know statistically it may take a while to get to that point.
Yeah, because you're going to find out later, probably, you know, more than sooner, of how beneficial this relationship is for both.
Yeah, because then you're still dealing with the exes, and you're dealing with the exes, and you're dealing with the child having feelings of betrayal. So sometimes the child is afraid to allow a step parent, or they're afraid to receive the love.
Yeah.
They're afraid to develop that bond with the step parent because they feel a betrayal.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming from a person who's not related to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what am I supposed to do with this?
You know that you have a mother.
Yeah.
You know that you have a father.
Exactly.
But then here's this other person, and in their mindset, is taking on that role as well. So they become, standoffish.
Right. Exactly.
They're afraid.
They put a wall up.
Yeah, so they feel like they may be perhaps betraying their bio parent if they receive the love and affection of this other person.
Yeah.
That's
true.
Yeah. So parents to the stepchild should not be surprised of the rejection. And I hate to say things like
wow, that's true.
Don't take it personally, because it is personal. You're trying to develop a relationship.
As if you're trying hard,
with the stepchild, you're trying to bond and communicate and have playtime, and then they don't want it.
Yeah.
But we have to understand that there's a lot of ambivalence going on. There's a lot of inner conflict going on inside of it. This is new to the child.
Yeah. It's new to the child. It's new to the parent as well, because I have the one that I love. But the one that I love has children. You know what I mean? So ours is going to be good because we're fulfilling the need that each of us have. But then there are children that need something too.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it has to be understood. Hey, that old saying, when you marry me, you marry mine.
Yes. And that is so true. So again, the question is, how do we work this out?
Yeah.
So you have the child that is ambivalent.
Yeah.
They don't know how to feel. It's a new environment.
Yeah.
Sometimes the parents get offended because they have that sense of rejection by the child.
Yeah.
But remember what's going on here. So we still have to be the parent.
Yeah.
We still have to role model the behavior and kind of put yourself in that child's shoes.
Yeah.
Put yourself in their shoes. And then you still deal with the ex, because sometimes the ex can make it hard for what you have going on in your home too, because perhaps there's jealousy there. Yeah,
jealousy there. If there is still that relationship between, the biological mother or father, that you have to be careful, because it can sometimes enter into what you're trying to create within your own home. You know what I mean? So, just like you said, they could, how's your stepdaddy or stepmama treating you?
Yes.
You don't have to do A, B, C, and D because they ain't your real.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
So that creates conflict within what we're trying to create.
That's right. That's right. So just let me say this. If you find yourself in that position, make sure that whatever you say and whatever you do is going to be for the betterment, for the welfare of your child. Do not function from your emotional mind, because you're going to cause a lot of hurt and pain, not just for you, but in your child as well.
Yeah. What did I say? Everyone must have understanding. I can't see that.
Aunties, grandparents, and cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we call extended identity.
Yeah.
There's an extended identity. We have other family members out there, but we all have to be on the same page. So like you said, there's no such thing as too much love.
No such thing. Let me say this. I shared my grandparents, who I call mom and dad, with everybody.
Yeah.
Right? And so my extended family is a large group of people.
Yeah.
Everyone in our community, called my grandparents either mom, and they definitely called, everyone knew dad as being grandpa.
Yeah.
The whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
Grandpa buying ice cream for the whole, street. Grandpa fixing this bike or whatever grandpa did. So that was his name. So when I see people today that aren't blood related, it's always a greeting of, hey cousin, or something like that, or hey family, because of that. And then my grandmother, she babysit everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
You
right,
name
exactly.
them,
Exactly.
And so that extended family is a good thing.
But that was your security.
Yeah.
You were secure in the relationship that you had with your grandparents.
Yeah.
And all children are not like that. While you may have been excited about everybody coming in, there may have been a family member or a sibling or whoever who could have had some type of jealousy. Everybody does not like people calling your parents mom and dad. That's my
true.
Parents.
That's true.
So you have to make for sure that you are extending that love and making sure that your stepchild understands their importance of who they are to you. You know, and it's hard because when you blend families, you have a natural bond with your children, with your body. It's just natural. So you have an unnatural bond with your stepchildren.
Yeah. And as we stated before, depending upon the age, sometimes it can be very easy. But if you're older, I think you said earlier, that's when more of the kickback comes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that natural bond that you have with yours, you may show yours more love.
And
do more for.
Right. But,
you know what I mean?
And
withhold discipline from.
It is so natural, but you're doing this in the face of the other child.
Yeah. Unfair. Unfair.
And
you may not know you're doing it until it's brought to your attention.
That's right. Yeah. So you, good morning, Robert Lyles.
Yeah. Good morning.
So you really have to be cognizant of what you're doing, because the other child is taking all of this in. When it comes to your natural child, you're more lenient. You give more allowance to, or you're nicer to them. When it comes to the stepchild, you're shorter with them, and the child takes all of this in. So we do have to we can't treat everyone the same, but we can be fair.
Be fair.
There's no such thing as treat everybody equal, because everyone is an individual. So you have to treat them according to who they are.
Now, if you're serious about it, one of the things that we used to do was hold family meetings. We wanted to see how things were going, or how could I improve on whatever it may be. Because to see things through the eye of the child is totally different. So they may bring to your attention that thing that you have no idea that you're actually doing.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
A timeout, so to speak.
Yes.
Let's have a group family discussion, and let's discuss how it is that you feel as a child, because we're actually bringing them into our world that we're trying to create.
Yes. And remember, parents don't have all the answers, so don't expect for your parents to get it right all the time, every time. You have to have patience with them as well, because you don't know what you don't know. You know that you've created this dynamic. You don't know what's going to come out of it.
Exactly.
But what I always say, Bishop, is to act in accordance to love. And you can't go wrong doing that. Although you do not have a natural bond with your stepchild, what would love do? What would love? Now, you're not going to have a piece of pie and give half of the pie to your child and then give a crumb to the stepchild. That is not acting in accordance to love.
Blood does not make you family. Love does.
Love does. Say that again.
Blood does not make you family. Love is what really makes the family connect.
That's right.
So we may be connected through the bloodline, but there's no love.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
But everyone's looking for that love connect.
Yes.
And once you find that, then that becomes your family.
That's right.
It may be a little old lady over here, or the old man. Whoever gives you and invest in your life.
And
that's
good.
So
because that stepchild could be the one that end up taking care of you when you get older.
You never know.
That bio child can be gone on somewhere, and they ain't look back twice.
Once. Ain't no one back look. We ain't looking back not even one time.
You just do not know, so you can't go wrong with acting in accordance to love. But what I've seen in my experience oftentimes is step parents come in and they want to show this child or these children who's the boss?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so they come in being mean, they come in being strict, they come in, you know, so you already built that wall partition between you and the child. So what we have to do is to develop closeness.
Yeah.
Develop. So when you develop something, it's like developing a picture. Yeah. There's a process.
Right.
And it's going to take time. Can you read that, Bishop?
I wish. Something like, my girls adjusted very well to each other. My wife does well, considering she also from a similar situation, looks like.
Considering also she is in a similar, yeah. And it takes time, and it definitely takes love. I'm sorry, guys, I got new glasses. I can see, but I can't see.
What did it say? But that's how the streets relate to each other. That's true.
Hey, yeah.
For sure. That's where that family connected.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That's how games are created.
That's right.
You know, you give me something that I don't have at home.
You know. Yeah. And I say it all the time. Everyone wants a sense of belongingness. You want to feel like you belong.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me, you know, scripture, how Barnabas took Paul, because Paul had that crazy reputation.
Most definitely.
We know his story.
Yeah.
But then it took a Barnabas to reach his hand out to him and to present him to other people to, like, you know, don't treat him like that. You know, he's a changed person. Come on, brothers. You know, let's show him some love. And that's what we have to do when we're trying to blend and incorporate our families. So develop that closeness, not strictness. But this comes back to sitting down with your partner and discussing what the role should be.
Yeah, because what role do you want me to play as a stepdad, or what role do you want me to play as a stepmother? As you stated before, you may come in like, you know, you're the boss, and you come in like you Joe Clark,
right?
You know what I mean,
right?
All of that. But then there's a step parent that may, you know, just kind of hands off.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of see, you know, because you can lose in both areas. And
I think for it to, you're right, you know, for it to be a healthy situation is that the step parent should allow the bio parent to chastise and discipline as much as possible. I think that the step parent should be more supportive.
Yeah.
You know, because if the step parent goes in and they're welling on the child and all that, that's a messy and an ugly situation.
Oh, that's World War III.
But it is because hey, you still got an ex-parent out there, not an ex-parent.
My grandfather used to say, "Stepdaddy don't whoop like your natural daddy would." He had an awful relationship with his stepfather, abusive in some sorts. You know what I mean? So I mean, there you go. You know, what is that saying there?
What about adult children? Some adult children have difficulty accepting their parents' new spouses. Yeah, that's ugly too.
That's true.
That's very, very ugly. But adults, that the key word here is adults. You have to, like, you want someone to respect the relationships that you're in, although they don't agree with you. Your parents are grown. I mean, come on. You have to respect them. You may not like their choices, but the choice is not yours. The choice is the parent. So there are boundaries in every relationship. Although you're an adult child, now if you know the parent is with a knucklehead, they're taking advantage of them, and that's something different. The siblings may need to intervene. But if mom is happy and if dad is happy, leave them alone.
It definitely takes time. It took me years to become okay with the situation. So
it's a process.
It takes time.
Yeah, it's definitely a process. You know, but again, to develop a healthy blended family, we have to know our roles, and again,
some parents need to understand that it takes time. I'm showing them all the love I can. I'm giving them this, that, and the other. You know, I'm a good step parent. You know, and they just slow to come around. So you have to be patient, even though you know you doing the best you can. Step parents have to be patient.
And sometimes we need to do more. Sometimes we have to extend ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we spoke earlier about how your feelings can get hurt by the rejection, you know, of the child. We still have to extend ourselves because we know that this is a process.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if I put food in a food processor, then a lot is going to happen to that food. It's going to get cut. It's going to, you know, it's going to be, it's going to become liquid, basically, you know.
Pureed.
Pureed. Pureed. So we are pureed from time to time, but we know what we're working on. We know what we want our outcome to be. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be an easy, comfortable process, because more than likely it will not be.
Right.
There's a reason why the statistics are so high regarding divorce and blended families. You know, we said that about 60 to 70% end in divorce. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. And maybe it's because you don't include your children in you know, the, you know, who you decide to hook up with. What I mean by include is you don't give them, you don't give thought to their feelings, and you don't give thought to their, you know, how they may feel about you getting with another person. So maybe that's why it didn't last too long.
So what is what is your recommendation?
Knowing what I know now is to go and seek, if you're serious about an individual, I said it earlier, go and seek counseling. Say, hey, I plan to do this with my life. I have small children, and we want to know what will be the best effective way for him or her to step parent.
Yeah.
I mean, since we're like a little smarter than what we used to be, we have to take other steps than what we normally would. Just don't show up and say, hey, I'm your dad, or hey, I'm your mom. You know, I'm your stepdaddy now, I'm your stepmama now. No, it don't work like that today. So we have to do different things.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and then take time and see how this person interacts with your child before you do blend.
Yeah.
See how they interact with their own children.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know, like when we got married, you know, this is a package deal. You cannot have me. If you don't get along and you cannot accept my children, then it's a no deal. It's a deal breaker.
Yeah. And I believe ours went pretty well. I mean, there wasn't a lot of, you know, whatever going on between, you know, myself, your children, yourself, my children. I think it was just God blessed it.
Yeah.
Let me say that. You know, He blessed it.
Well, I wasn't gonna be with a man that didn't love my children, and I love the way you love and accepted my children as your own.
Yeah, but it was a lot of love that went into it. Remember, I mean, it was just the like I said earlier today, that there's no such thing as having too much love. Yeah. Because it was as if they were always in the family. That's with myself, my grandparents, which would be their, you know, great grandparents. You know, so all of that was included and involved, and I think, you know, it kind of came out pretty good.
Absolutely. You know? But you have to work it. Again, because you're dealing with children that you don't have a natural bond with. So for a lot of people, it doesn't come as easy. Right. You know, so you have to extend yourself and show that child love, show the children love, incorporate them in your family time, and be very careful, you know, even as far initially, as far as, you know, touching and hugging too fast and all that. Again, the child has a lot going on. When you're 3 or 4, you definitely cannot put things into words. Right. You only have feelings. You only have emotions. And children can feel when they can feel when they don't,
something's wrong.
They can feel when something's wrong. They can feel if they don't have that love connection, you know, they can feel it. Children's spirits are like white. They can feel it because we are an energetic force.
And they may not be able to word it.
Right.
They can feel it.
Exactly. Exactly. So you may not even like your stepchild. Yeah. And you don't have to. Yeah. But you can act in accordance to love. You can act in accordance to love. Yeah. You know, so we definitely have to continue to extend ourselves and develop that closeness. Develop the closeness. Be the parent. Be the parent. You know, so again, you have an ex. And, you know.
Some have exes.
You're right.
Some have exes.
You have exes. So you really have to try to be cordial.
Yeah.
You have children.
Yeah.
You have children who are looking and experiencing everything.
They should be blind to the conflict that may be going on between the two. You know what I mean?
They should be blind. They should be deaf.
Yeah. No, yeah. Deaf.
Deaf.
You don't want them to die, but deaf. Not deaf.
You saw my tongue.
You know, but deaf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Straight up. They don't need to know that.
Oh my
You know, it needs to appear to them that everybody's getting along well.
Yes.
You know, so fighting out in front of the house, hanging up, calling the house, the police being called, you know, loud outbursts and cussing. I mean, it's just not necessary.
And you know what? It's not even about the child. All of that is about you.
It's about the adults.
Yes, it's about the adults.
Man, I think you're right about that. That's true.
Yeah, that's about you and your emotions.
Yeah.
You and your feelings of rejection, feelings of insecurity, and jealousy as well. So you got to manage your emotions. Yeah. Remember, when you have children, it's not even about you. It's about the welfare, the psychological, emotional development of that child.
So parents, the bio parent goes through something too as well. So maybe the relationship didn't work out between the two, you know, individuals who created this child. Now they're into another home and they have a stepmom or a stepdad. So that bio parent has to, I believe they feel something as well, whereas children may call the stepmother mom, or they may call stepdad dad. And so then, you know, it might hit them like, hold up, I'm their father. So, you know, and it's not like you're trying to take that other person's place. It's just how things are working out. It's a good thing. But something has to be established when you go from a child to an adult, as far as what will the titles be in the home. You know, will they call me John? You know, will they call me Mr. John? Or will they call me Dad? It depends upon the relationship. One thing is, children should never be allowed to call adults just by their first name only. That's how I feel.
Any child, I don't care who it is.
Even today, with me being as old as I am.
It's a matter of still respect.
Still respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you might want to tag it as Mr. or, you know, Miss Susie, you know, whatever the case may be. But until that relationship is formed, I don't believe in making children call, you know, the step-parent mom or dad. That's going to, it may come over time, then again, it may not. Depend on how old the children are.
But we sat down with ours.
We did.
You know, and asked them what did they want to call.
Exactly. So. I said, hey, it ain't going to be my first name, but what would you like? And they came up with it and we rolled with it. You know, and it's been working ever since. So.
Absolutely. But you said something. It's not like step parents are trying to be the parents. Sometimes they do. Sometimes
they do. That is so true. Man. Don't be talking about my mama. You know, because you my stepmom. She don't do this for you. That ain't gonna work.
Exactly.
But I feel you on
so we have to be careful that we do not try to take the place of the bio parent. You can never, ever do that. Even if they have a bio parent that is abusive.
In jail.
Prison. They still love that bio parent.
Most definitely.
So I don't care. Step parents, you cannot come in and be that parent. You will never fill those shoes, no matter how hard you try. But you can have a loving, close relationship.
And that is something that we did not allow. You know, so we never talked about the other one.
That's right.
You know, in front of us. Yeah.
Right.
You know, because remember, they should be what?
That's their parents.
Blind and deaf.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be. So that was never done because
it's
still
none of the children's behavior. Now, they may not be good partners, but they can still be good parents.
Man, that's the truth.
You know,
that's the truth.
Yeah. And if they're not good parents, that child will find out sooner or later
they
on
will
their
grow
own.
Up to see.
They don't need your help to
that
see.
Is true.
Because you're damaging them emotionally. Why would you talk down to your child whose mind is not even developed yet? You put things on them that are too heavy for them to be able to rationalize. You are damaging them. It is not conducive for the emotional or psychological well-being for you to talk negative and talk down to them about their bio parent.
Another game that's played is when one of, moves on, gets into another relationship, and that person has children. And you may have a child with that man or woman. So they'll kind of play and say that, hey, you doing more, them ain't your kids. You doing more for them than you doing for that type of game.
Yes.
Driving by the house and seeing, play things out in the yard and they got them this and you don't have, as if one is doing. That's a game that's played between adults.
That's right.
And you involve the child.
Yes.
So now the relationship that could have been with that mother or father with their.
Is damaged.
Is damaged.
Is damaged. And in other words, you poison the mindset of this child. But in order for children to be psychologically, emotionally healthy, they need both parents. And like you said, there's not such thing as too much love. So if you have a step parent in your child's life, then and if they're loving and nurturing and caring, then you should really try to encourage that relationship. You have to check yourself and see what your insecurities are about.
Yeah. And so being a stepdad or being a stepmom is not a bad thing. Sometimes it just means what happened is you stepped up when the other one stepped out.
Well,
so it's a good thing. You stepped up.
Yes.
One thing we did, we never allowed for that word to be used in our home.
No, we didn't.
I think if you look from that standpoint, then you're treated as such. That's my stepchild. So there's a difference there.
Yeah, but I love what you just said. Yeah. Say that again as far as a step parent.
It's not
when the other one steps out.
That's it.
Because it happens.
That's it. It happens all the time.
Sometimes parents are MIA.
Yeah.
They're missing in action.
Yeah. I love a parent that can say good things about the parent that's missing. I love a parent that can say good things to that child that doesn't understand why their father won't come get them, why their mother won't come get them.
Yes.
I love that parent that takes time with that child, explains and gives them what it is that they need. Not trying to take the place, but you're stepping in at a good time.
That's right.
And you're making a difference. And so everyone's life is enriched by this.
That is correct. That is correct. So as we stated before, sometimes parents, biological parents, a lot of it is because of, drug-related issues, alcohol-related issues, mental health issues for whatever reason. The biological parent is absent. But then when you have a step parent that comes in, you're talking about enriching a child's life. Being there, being that ram in the bush. That is a beautiful thing.
It's a God thing because it goes back to saying, as we say in our community, it takes a village.
It takes a village
to raise this child.
Yes.
It takes a village. And so the more love, the more the merrier.
That's right.
I believe that everybody benefits from it. It makes and creates a healthier world for the children that's coming up.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So you need that reinforcement. Not only will you get it from me, but you'll get it from the other parent.
But when you think about what happens to a child when a bio parent steps out, and we're talking about abandonment issues, low self-esteem, poor self-concept, the child doesn't know or understand who they are, feelings that I was not important enough for them to hang around, for, feeling unloved. And then you have a godsend.
And that's what it is. Yeah.
Yes, a ram in the bush. But again, it's not saying that it's going to be easy when you come together.
No. But that ram in the bush will make it try to explain the absence of the other. So the feelings that the child is going through with the absence of their mother or father can sometimes be better explained by by the step parent. You know, how they should look at it. You know, always keep that love door open for your parent. They're going through something right now. Give them time. I mean, you know, you have to kind of be there to fill in the right way if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, don't say they ain't they'll never change. They're already going to be, you know.
But the thing about it is that oftentimes children will not understand until they get adults.
Older. That's true.
Until they become adults.
That's true.
Then they can look back and say, you know what? You know, I see what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
But because you're still going to have those feelings of abandonment and rejection. You're still going to have all of that, although you have a ram in the bush, although you may have a loving, kind step parent. You're still going to have in your mindset, where's bio dad?
Yeah.
Or where's bio mom? You know, so the step parent may still have those feelings of rejection because it may be hard for them to really embrace you because they don't know dad walked out, mom walked out, and how long is step mom or dad gonna be there?
How long? That's why I said earlier we must take time to see if I'm really going to be committed to this relationship. You know, there has to be time that's given. You know, for us to see how we're going to work this out if we're really serious about it.
Yes.
You know, because I don't want it to be 2 years or a year and you gone and I'm in search for another because I need. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Some people will not date, even if the children are small. Some people will not date until their children are adults.
That's right. Yeah.
Or well in their teenage years.
Yeah, because you don't
they want
want
to bring it in.
You whatever you go through, you're taking your children through too.
Yeah.
You know, but the most healthiest and effective relationships are those that communicate well. So you involve the children. You see how they feel. It's not just your show. You have children who have emotions. They have feelings. You want them to be able to express themselves. So you communicate, and then you're committed. You're committed to the process.
Your feelings now, since you have children, should come last. You know, because you feel as if I ain't been in a relationship in so long. I mean, well, that's what you created, or this is what happened from it. You know, so. You have to kind of slow your roll and make sure their needs are met first.
Yes.
Before you have the need of being in another relationship.
That's right. Because we still children are gifts from God. Yeah. And we still have to be good stewards over what God has given us. We will have time. And I know, you feel like you in your 30s and 40s, and maybe you don't have a mate yet and all this, and you still got little children. You're gonna have time. You have more time than you think you do.
Most definitely.
But you also have what we call priorities. And your children's welfare. Emotionally and psychologically, physically, financially, is your children.
Man.
Priorities.
That's powerful. I mean, you said it just hit me because that's what it becomes about.
Yes.
Is your priorities should be your children first.
That's right.
Versus your needs and maybe your sexual desires that haven't been fulfilled in a long time. Or, someone laying next to you, your children, because of the priorities come first. Yeah, absolutely. So you don't want anyone being a step parent over your children because you're lonely. Yeah, because you're lonely.
That's noteworthy.
If I had a keyboard or something, I'd back you up right here. Say it again. Say it again. My goodness.
Yeah,
yes.
You don't want anyone being a step parent over your children because you're lonely.
Yeah, because
you got to check that. Now, there's a difference in between, and we're getting off subject a little bit, but there is a vast difference between being alone and being lonely.
Yeah.
All right. But nevertheless, you got enough there to occupy your time and your mind.
That's true. That's true.
Seriously. Man. When my babies was little, I knew I couldn't go everywhere. People would invite me places and all that, and they like, well, no kids. Oh, well, I can't go.
Priority.
Yeah. And it wasn't no big thing. I knew I would get an opportunity to go if I needed to, but it wasn't no big thing. We watch cartoons, eat pizza, popcorn, or whatever. They were my date for the night.
Yeah, man. Priority.
But remember the 3 C's of a healthy communication and blending this family unit: commitment, communication, compromise. Yeah. Those are the 3 C's to a healthy communication: commitment, communication, and compromise. Because, see, this is how sibling rivalry gets started, too.
That's true.
Not just in blended families, but, when one parent shows more favoritism to another child. You give more to one child, and then another child feels neglected. And then comparing one child to another. That is like the worst.
They're all different.
Yes.
And I've learned that some child, if you have more than one, of course, need more than what the other one needs. You know what I mean? So I believe you kind of give according to what this one needs.
Well, as I indicated before, you cannot treat your children equally. But you can treat them fairly.
Yeah, be fair.
Because they're different. They're different human beings, and they do have different needs.
Yeah, because you have one that might want to lay up underneath you all the time. The other one to be as far away as possible.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And you try to hug up on them and all that. They don't want all that.
Right.
And so the one that wants it, give it.
Right. That's right. They give it and they get it. And then the one that standoffish, is jealous about the bond or the closeness that the other ones have.
Yeah.
So
parenting is not easy. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh my goodness!
It's
like Apostle Paul said, you gotta be all things to all people.
It's not easy.
It's a skill set. You have to be able to meet the needs of each child on their particular level.
You must.
So it's like the parent is doing a balancing act, but that's why parents need the support of each other.
Need the support of each other, and it must be understood. If we're going to be in a relationship, the question should be raised: are you prepared and ready to be a step parent?
That's an excellent question.
Are you prepared and are you ready to be a step parent? Because these are mine, and I take good care of mine, and whoever comes in has to do the same thing.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
so all
right.
that needs to be put up in the, forefront.
Yeah, it really does. Because again, we are to be good stewards over what God has given us.
Most definitely.
And you've done it for a beautiful family, for the children that are coming into the blended family. You want it to be a warm, welcoming environment. So everyone has, you talking about sitting down and meeting, even that you have to talk to the children of the bio family now. Steve is coming, and Steve has, a daughter that he has custody of, and she will be living with us. How do you all feel about that?
Talk about it.
Communication, right?
Yeah,
you can't just bring them in and be like, oh, this is her room over here, and I want you to take your room, and you go and have bunk beds with...
to bombard someone else into your space.
Oh, yeah.
That's difficult.
Oh, yeah. That's going to cause a lot of resentment.
So when there's a child or children coming in with pre-existing ones, everyone has to sit down and say, hey, this is what we're going to all work at together.
That's right.
You can't bombard, like you just said, and here they come with a bag and a suitcase, you know what I mean? And saying,
Because like you said, the children that are coming in already has some ambivalence. They don't know what to expect coming into this new environment. Yeah. They don't know if their siblings are going to like them or not. You know, so we definitely want to create an atmosphere of love in the home, because the childhood rivalry or sibling rivalry in childhood will follow into adulthood.
Yeah, most definitely.
It
gets worse as time goes on.
Because now it's a familiar behavior, it's a familiar attitude, it's a familiar spirit. Yeah. You know, you've been feeling like, I did not like Vanessa since she was 3 years old because she got treated this way by mom and dad, or her hair
she got the bigger Easter basket. You know, she got the bigger bunny in the basket, and I got this wee little bitty old, you know, Easter bunny. You know what I mean? She got the big one.
No, seriously, you know? No, we are laughing, but this stuff happens.
All the time.
It happens, and you still remember that in your adulthood.
Yeah.
So, you know, this rivalry, you continue this stuff throughout your adult life. You don't like each other. You're 30, 40, 50. Yeah. You still do not like each other because of childhood issues.
Childhood issues. One point should be talked about is that step parents have to make sure that they take time with stepchildren.
That's right. Yes.
I mean, they're in you guys are with each other all take time with them. Talk to them. You know,
be intentional.
Yes, all of that. You know,
if you have a stepdaughter, find out. I mean, and you're a female. You have a stepdaughter. Hey, you want to have a nail day, or you want to go out. You want to go to the park. Just be intentional about building this bond with them.
But sometimes the step parent is reinforcing what the children already have. Yeah. You know, and so for me to show you love, I have to show your children love, your daughter love. I'll buy you flowers. Let me go ahead and buy little Vanessa some flowers too, to show her what to expect.
Yes, because that is so special.
It's important.
Yes.
It's important.
Well, hey, that is the end of our time here at TTL, talking about blended families. It can happen. It's hard, but it's definitely doable. Yeah. You must put the work in. This can happen. I am Kimberly Bozeman, owner of Healthy Emotes Counseling Services, 614-669-5115.
I'm Bishop Bozeman, pastor of Assembly of Faith Church, right here in the city of Columbus, Ohio, 1571 South Parsons Avenue. You can meet us this coming Sunday at 11 a.m. Look forward to seeing your face in the place.
Yes, we love you.
God bless y'all.